Hello everybody, you can call me Sihone, and in this video we're going to be talking about what it would be like to re-roll your account, or if you are new to Genshin Impact, what can you expect when you reach about adventure rank 35. We're going to be talking about how many 5 stars you can get, what your 4-star characters are going to look like, how far you can get into Spiral Abyss, which is basically the end game right now. And here's the thing, there's a lot of things that have changed in Genshin Impact since it first released. 1.3 and the amount of story quests there are, along with how you can get adventure rank EXP, has changed a lot from when we first started. So we're gonna create a guide to show you guys what it's gonna be like to start over, fresh. And guess what? This is a really good time to get into Genshin Impact or re-roll your account. So this guide could be exactly for you. The 5-star characters that I have are Xiao and Mona. The reason why I have Xiao is because Xiao is out on the rate up banner right now for 5 stars. That could be different by the time that you're looking at this video, and it may be a character that you really want. So if you see a character on the rate up banner that you think is good, do some research first. And if you want to, then dump all your Primogems into it. And we'll be talking about that in a little bit, what you should be doing with your Primogems. But for now, I have Xiao, which is a rate up banner character, and I have Mona, which is a character that you can randomly get on pretty much any banner except for the weapon banner, I believe. Now for the 4-star characters, the extra 4-star characters that you don't get originally, I have Diona, Chongyun, Ningguang, Xingqiu, Beidou, and that's it. The characters that you get in the game already are going to be Noelle, Xiangling, Barbara, Lisa, Kaya, Amber, and where is main character? Already, we're looking at a pretty good team. There's a lot we can build around, and it doesn't just, these characters, they're intentional the way that I got them. As far as like constellations go, basically in this game how this works is if you get the same character twice, you get an extra constellation. Constellations are very, very valuable for characters because it can really help them do a lot more damage or support your team a lot better. Well, I don't have any constellations for my 5-star characters. That's not out of the ordinary. It's actually pretty difficult to get a constellation on a 5-star character just because 5-star characters are so rare. However, depending on the banner that you summon on, I don't have a constellation for her, don't have a constellation for Xingqiu. I do have a constellation for Diona, for Xiangling, I have 2 for Noelle, 1 for Barbara, 1 for Ningguang, 1 for Chongyun, and I think that's it. Those are actually a lot of constellations. And keep in mind, I'm free to play on this account. I also have a 5-star weapon. And I wouldn't even consider this account to be extremely lucky. So with the ability to summon all of these characters, all these 5-star characters, and even a 5-star weapon, what does that mean for our team? It means that you get at least 2 DPS carries, you get at least a good support character, you can get a good resonance character, and you get 2 really good healers. So if I readjust this team right here, I actually have the Anemo main character for my Xiao team, just for that Anemo resonance. This is a really good team right here because Xiao, he is a DPS carry. Xingqiu is there to do some support damage. Also, I mean, Hydro and Cryo freeze enemies so they can't do anything. That's really good for a team. Diona, she's great for healing as well as shields. For my other team, I have Beidou, Ningguang, Mona, and Noelle. Beidou is for the DPS, Ningguang is for the Geo Resonance, Mona is for just some Hydro application because Hydro and Electro are really good with Beto on your team. And then Noelle is for heals as well as that Geo Resonance. So how did I get all these 5-star characters and this 5-star weapon in my party? Well, you get a lot of Primogems as you level up in Genshin Impact. You have your story quests, you have some chests, you have the Spiral Abyss, and you have some other miscellaneous things that give you Primogems. And so by the time that you are rank 35, you're gonna have a lot of Primogems. What did I do with my Primogems? I didn't do a single reset. Because, I mean, typically what people would do when Genshin Impact first came out, they would do max resets so that way they could level up their adventure rank as quickly as possible. You don't need to do that right now. You can spend all of your Primogems in one of these banners. What I would recommend is never, ever, 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 ever spend Primogems in the Standard Wish banner. The reason? It's not a rate up banner. It's any character that you get from this banner, completely random. And you won't even see the rate up characters in that banner either. You won't get Xiao in this banner right here. You could get Keqing, you could get Mona, you could get Chi-Chi, you could get a plethora of other characters like Diluc or Jean, or get the Amos Bow or the Skyward Harp or the Skyward Spine or the equivalent of Favonia. You could get Xinyan, Diona, blah, 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 blah. But it's all random and you might not get the character that you want. It's much better to dump all your Primogems in the beginning into, honestly, I'd recommend the character event Wish banner. Right now it's Xiao. That's how I got Xiao. I just dumped all my Primogems into Xiao. Because if you end up getting a 5-star, it's a 50% chance of getting the rate up banner character. And if you don't get it in your first 50%, you still get a random 5-star character. But when you hit pity, it's called pity. When you don't get the character that you wanted on rate up, the next 5-star character you get, 100% guaranteed. Also, if you get a 4-star character, you get a chance to get Xinyan, Beto, Diona. These characters, next banner, they're going to be different. Next banner, Xiao, not going to be here. Actually, next banner is going to be Keqing. I wouldn't recommend getting that banner. If you're stuck with Keqing by the time that you see this video, the Keqing banner, just wait. Just wait. Then, once you get that 5-star character, I would recommend, if there's a supporting weapon for that character, I would recommend dumping your Primogems and getting at least one 5-star weapon, because these are really good too. I got unlucky. I got the sword instead of the spear. But because Xiao is a 5-star, he's still going to be putting in work even if he doesn't have a 5-star weapon. And these rate up weapons right here, they're going to be good supporting weapons too for the other characters in my team. Does that all make sense? I hope it does. So to recap, rate up banners give you a better chance of getting the characters on this banner. This Standard Wish banner does not. Now, how do you build your team? Basically, there's a ton of different teams that have synergies that work really well. In early game, it can be kind of daunting to figure everything out. I'm going to make things simple for you. Every team should have, and this can change, but I would recommend that every team should have your main DPS carry, meaning they go into a room, they kill everything as quickly as possible. Xiao is my main DPS carry on this team. You have another character that gives you a good elemental resonance, meaning if you have two of the same element in your team, you're going to get an extra effect. So for Xiao and the Anemo main character, that means that we are going to get a decrease in stamina consumption by 15%. That's kind of good when you're doing charge attacks. And then you get increased movement speed by 10%. That's always fun for exploring. Shortens skill cooldown by 5%. Xiao really depends on his elemental skill. The two that I really recommend would be Fervent Flames, actually the three now. Fervent Flames, Shattered Ice, and Enduring Rock. Those three are really, really good. Anemo is kind of situational. Xingqiu, he is there for some elemental combinations, because when you put Hydro and Cryo together, you get Frozen, so the enemies can't move. They can take all the damage that they want and they can't do anything about it. So it's really good for crowd control. Diona is my healer. Obviously, every team should have a healer unless you are busted broken doing DPS and you can kill everything before they even touch you. To recap, main DPS, you want another character for an elemental resonance. You want a supporting character who can do elemental reactions, and you want a healer. Here's another example of a team that I've built. You need 2 teams in Spiral Abyss later game. We'll get into that as well. I know, a lot of information. So in this build, I have Beidou for my main DPS. I have Ningguang for my elemental resonance. I have Mona for my supporting elemental reaction, and I have Noelle for her healing capabilities. So with the Geo Resonance, increases shield strength by 15%. Shields are really good in this game. And any character that is protected by a shield will have the following special effects. Damage dealt increased by 15%. We want damage. Dealing damage to enemies will decrease their Geo Resonance resistance by 20%. Just means that if you have a Geo character out in the field and they have that resonance, they're going to be doing more damage. Early game, you're not going to have the best stats in the world. A lot of it's going to revolve around artifacts. So just don't be too discouraged when you see these builds with 200% crit damage and 80% crit rate, because it's going to take a while for you to get to that point. For the time being, my Xiao, realistically, is going to have 26 crit rate. We have a way of bumping that, and 109 crit damage. This is actually pretty good for where my character is at. I don't have any other kind of really outstanding stats for my weapon. The 4-star weapon, there's a lot of great 4-star weapons out there. They're actually easier to refine as well, so you don't have to worry if you don't get a 5-star weapon. This is still going to put in a lot of work for Xiao too because of energy recharge. For artifacts, I actually was a little bit lucky and was able to get a decent Berserker set. Late game Berserker isn't going to do too much for you, but the reason why I'm showing you these artifacts isn't because I'm showing off how awesome they are, but how realistic they are for where you're going to be at in the game. 15% crit damage, that's actually really freaking good for an artifact at this time. Energy recharge is the only stat that I really care about in this artifact, so this isn't great for late game. This one, energy recharge, not great for late game. Don't really have anything on this one, and then I have crit damage here and attack percent. That's a decent artifact. Constellations, again, you're not going to have anything. This one, this is pretty realistic too. By the time that you're AR 35, 36, 37, you're probably going to have 5 on most of your talents for your main DPS. These are really important to level up as you go. The more you ascend your characters, the more you're able to ascend your talents. When you ascend your characters, basically you go out into the world, you have to farm these chunks, you have to farm these juvenile jade. This is a new item in the game. You have to go out into the world and farm these flowers, kill some slime, get some slime concentrate. That way you can increase their capability for leveling up, which requires Mora, which requires EXP. Oof, that's a lot. That's a lot to take in. So hopefully you're with me so far. So for my resonance character, I don't really have anything on that character. You don't really need to invest a lot into all your other characters. The only two characters that I really would invest in are your main DPS and maybe your healer. But for my support, I did invest a little bit into Xingqiu. Obviously, he has a 5-star weapon, so that's going to be really great for him. I think Jade Cutter's really good for Xingqiu. Artifacts, almost nothing. I just have a little bit of attack on him for some support damage. No constellations. I dumped a little bit of talents into his abilities here. Diona, I don't hyper invest in the healers at the moment. She is doing the heals that I need her to do, because if you can just keep dodging and if you can kill everything before they hurt you, you don't need as much heals. I will invest in her a little bit more in the later on, but as you can see, she's only level 50. I have a level 60 bow, which is actually kind of high in my opinion, but that's fine by me. I really could invest more in her artifacts, but as you can see, the only artifact that I really invested in was her flower, so that allows her to heal a little bit better. Constellations, I have one for her because I got that off of the rate up banner. Talents, I could level these a little bit higher. In fact, I actually will. Now she can heal a little bit more potently, which is really good. Same for Beidou. I'm just gonna quickly go through this. Stats, they're okay, very mediocre. This is probably more of what you're gonna find when you hit about AR 35 to 37. Weapons, I have the prototype Archaic for her, really great sword. I have the Gladiator's Finale set on her. As you go, you'll get more and more of these. Some of them will be good, some of them will be garbo beans, but that's okay. Constellations, nothing on her. Talents, I could level them up a little bit more, but I'm happy with where they're at. For the other team that I had, I also had Mona. I have nothing into her. Basically no artifacts, no constellations, no talents. She's just there for the resonance, or for the elemental reaction. Noelle, I got nothing on her. I could invest into her a little bit more just because if she's going to be my other healer, that's going to be pretty important. Ningguang, absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Solely there just for the resonance. So here's how to reliably get to AR 35 in Genshin Impact. The first thing that you want to do is do all the world quests that you can. All the quests that you can get your hands on, do them. The next thing that you're going to want to do is once you unlock dailies, do your dailies every single day. You get Primogems and you get a lot of adventure rank EXP. After that, collect all the Anemoculous using a map called, what's it called? Genshin Impact map.appsample.com. I'll put a link down below in the description. That will help you mark off what Anemoculous, what Geoculous, what Dragonspine Crystals you find on the map. So that way you don't have to backtrack and go, did I actually get that one? I forget. Also, it's really good for shrines. It's really good for marking all the Seelies and stuff like that. But once you collect all of those, they're going to give you a lot of EXP. They're also going to give you a lot of stamina. Once that is done, then, and only then, would I recommend going out of your way to getting as many chests as possible. Doing a treasure hunt for these chests is a huge time suck. This is time that could be spent leveling your adventure rank even quicker. So that way you can get to the content that's constantly being updated in the game. Now, obviously, if you see a chest that's right there, that you can just walk right up to it and go, that looks juicy, collect it, because it's going to be worth it. You get artifacts, you get weapon enhancement materials, you can get Primogems as well. I would even recommend, let's say that you are stuck and you need to upgrade your artifacts. Well, go search for chests then. go upgrade your artifacts. Don't spend your resin on the artifact domains. It's very important that you don't do that because it's only worth it at adventure rank 45. And lastly, how do we get Primogems in this game? How do we get a crap ton of them so we can spend it all on our husbandos, all on our waifus? Well, Spiral Abyss is an amazing place to get Primogems. Here's what you can expect when you hit adventure rank 35. You should be able to get all the way to the 8th floor. You might have a big difficulty with floor 9, but that's pretty normal. It's actually really difficult. So each one of these boxes, when you get 3 stars or more, 3, 6, or 9, you get 100 Primogems. That's a lot. That means you can get 300 Primogems per chamber. That's 3 times 8. That's 2,400 Primogems. That's a lot. I'm gonna claim this reward. I just got 100 Primogems from that. You also get artifacts too. Like watch reward preview. If you clear certain floors, you get 5-star artifacts, 5-star artifacts, 5-star artifacts, and some 4-star artifacts. Another great way of getting Primogems is opening up these shrines right here. I've already opened this one up, but this one gives you 40 Primogems when you open up the chest that is inside these shrines. You do need a key, however. There are a limited amount of keys along with limited amount of shrines. You get them through doing these domains right over here. This one definitely had a key in it. There's various ways of getting keys as you go throughout the game. There are also events that come out that will give you Primogems. This one in particular gives you a free 4-star character, which is kind of nice. This chapter that they've created for this event also gives you some Primogems. I do believe that that this won't give you Primogems, which is a little disappointing. But there are also login bonuses. There are times where they go into maintenance and they will give you Primogems in your mailbox, which is super, super nice. Look, compensation, 300 Primogems, that's a lot. You can get Primogems from achievements, which is kind of nice. The chests that you collect throughout the world may give you some Primogems, not a lot, but it does all add up. And then you dump all your Primogems into these banners until you get the characters that you want, because you will eventually run out of resin refills, and Primogems are the next best thing to continue to play the game. As you hit late game, as you hit end game, as you hit the hardest content in the game and then you breeze through it, you're going to feel like you've run out of things that you can do because you're not going to have enough resources to continue building your characters. So I know that going throughout this game can be really tempting to dump all your resources, use all your resin refills, try and get all those 4-star artifacts. It really does kick you in the butt late game. All of this should give you a really huge stepping stone into progressing into late game, to progressing into AR 45, 50, 55. And I hope that you get there. As always, you can call me Sihone, and I will talk to you guys later.